Hey guys, welcome to today's video where I'm wanting to show you a little bit of a different content today. So what I'm wanting to discuss and wanting to show you is how you can create your own developer dashboard, right? I'm using Postman for this because it helps me organize all my testing and API keys and stuff like that. Normally, I would go inside of UChat and do some API tests that way, right? But I find using Postman, I can also store all those external requests, all those API calls that I make to different kinds of platforms, and it helps me stay organized. So once you have created an account with Postman, and I will leave a link down in the video description, you will basically come towards this dashboard. And what you can do here are different kinds of things. So first of all, let me just go towards my workspace. So let's go to my workspace. And from here, you can do different kinds of things. You can see the overview here, what I did. If I just skip this, then you will see I have 8 collections. And in this case, I'm testing my new database collections, MongoDB. And if we take a look here, I have an API call for find user inside of a database, right? And you will see what kind of API call this is. And you can create a multiple collections. So if you want to test something else, like we are going to do in just a little bit and build it out live here, then you will see that you can create a new collection. So what you can also do is create your own APIs. And you can create an API directly here. So we can say API define related collections and environments under a consistent schema. And from here, you can say create an API. And inside this API, as you can see, it loads a few things. We can also connect to repositories like GitHub, Bitbucket, GitLab, and Azure. So those are the ones that are supported by Postman at the moment. But you can basically connect towards your own API here, right? So this could be your repository. And then from here, you can show the API performance, deployments, tests, and automations. So if you are wanting to create your own API, you can even do that inside of Postman as well. Then we also have settings like environments. So an environment is a set of variables that allows you to switch the context of your requests. So if you want to do that, you can do so as well. We also have mock servers. So this is something that lets you simulate endpoints and their corresponding responses in a collection without actually setting up a backend. So this allows you to set up basically dummy servers for this purpose. You also have monitors, and inside the monitors you can basically let you run a collection periodically to check for its performance and responses as well. If we take a look at the flows is something that is basically coming, so it's coming soon. I'm really curious about how they are going to set this up, because if it's really visual, then I would love to explore this. And then we also have the histories tab. And you can see what I did with a specific collection, and here you will see different kinds of tests that I ran with this MongoDB database. So let's start by adding a new collection and then adding a new API call directly inside basically to show you how it works. So let's go towards the collections tab. I'm already there, and just press the plus sign, the plus icon, to create a new collection. From here, you will be able to rename this. So I will call this UChat because I will be calling the UChat API, right? And from here, we can also add a request to start working directly. So let's say add a request. And now we can set up an API call, basically. So if you worked with API documentations before, this should be looking a little bit familiar towards you. But if not, you can just follow along and start with the basics, right? So I will head into my UChat account. First of all, I will go and grab my API key because that is something that I will need to have. And then from here, I will be able to insert that API key. Now, the way to insert this is basically by going towards the API documentation, right? So we have the API documentation of UChat here. So let's take a look how this looks like. And if we go inside of a flow, we get certain data like a body, right? But to fully test this, let's also authorize our API key directly here. So let's just insert this, then close. On the insertion, you will also see that we have the basically the API key bearer. So that it gives us a good indication of how we need to set this up, right? So it will be a most likely authorization, and then the value will be bearer along with the API token. So let's close this for now, and let's see what we need to set up here. So first of all, let me insert a header. And this header, let's go with authorization, because that will be most likely, authorization. There we go, we can just select it. And then the value will be bearer along with my API key. There we go. Now for the next part, we need to do a little bit of testing inside this documentation itself. First of all, we will see the server that is being called. So that will be https www.uchat.com.au/API. So let's fill in this request URL already inside Postman. So let's go there. So let's go with https uchat.com.au/API and then another slash. There we go. So that is the base API URL that we need to have, right? So let's start with something simple, and let's say we are going with the bot user count. So get the count of bot user status. So what we need to do here is we also need to basically have this added towards our request URL, right? So let's add this. There we go. And also make sure that the extra slash has been removed. So that is one step. Then we need to take a look what kind of request that we need to make. So we will see that we have a get request, and if we take a look at Postman, then we will see that we also have that exact same get request. But as you can see here, we also need to set something inside the header, right? So if we were to run this, so if I say try it out, and let's say execute, then we'll see that we also need to have this accept header inside the header section of our request URL. So let's put that in here, and then the value is application JSON. Just for quick reference, I will just copy and paste this. So let's paste that in, and then for the body, we basically do not need to input any parameters because it's a get request in this case, and I think we are okay. So if I'm going to run this, we should get a similar result as what we have here, right? So we should get some kind of this similar response body. So let's take a look right now. So let's say send. So as you can see, we now got a response back, and it looks pretty much similar as to what we got inside of this response overview, right? So what you can do is basically build your entire API collection directly inside of Postman. This means that this request that we just did, if we go under new request, we can also rename this and basically rename this to what the purpose of this request is. So let's say this get request will be not a new request, but let's say fetch bot user count. There we go. And now we will have something inside. So we can also basically create another folder inside of this one. So if we say create a folder, add a folder, we can also say we are going to rename this folder, and we could also do something like this is bot user, this is bot level API, right? And then from here, we will be able to just drag and drop that directly inside that folder just to keep things organized. Because if we take a look here at the API level, then we have several that we can connect. So these are all bot related. Then we have subscriber related APIs, as you can see here, sending APIs, mini app API, mini app APIs, and we also have e-commerce APIs. And I believe even template APIs as well. So we can get all the templates, but we can also generate one-time links with this API call. So this way you can organize different kinds of APIs from different kinds of platforms and have it all conveniently inside of one platform to use whenever you want to and get things organized and structured, right? Along with this collection database, you can also add API calls as mentioned. You can set up environments, mock-up servers, so dummy servers. Flows are coming really soon. And we'll also have a history where you can see what exactly happened inside your account itself. So this is the way that you can manage your own developer dashboard, basically create your own developer dashboard towards your own liking using Postman. So if you like the video, do consider dropping a like. If you want to see a certain video recorded by me, drop it down inside the comment section below and I will try to do my best and record that video soon as possible. For now, have a great day, take care and talk soon.